I never believed in love at first sight until I met Caroline on a crisp autumn afternoon in downtown Richmond, Virginia. I was a soldier, and after years of duty, I thought I'd seen enough of the world to be immune to fairy tale notions. But there she was, a real estate agent with a laugh that seemed to brighten everything around her. She sat outside a coffee shop with friends, completely unaware of the spell she had cast on me from the moment I saw her. Somehow, I found the courage to walk over, and we fell into conversation effortlessly, each word drawing me closer to her warmth and kindness. That afternoon turned into weeks of dinners, long conversations, and shared dreams. Before I knew it, I was hopelessly in love. I proposed not long after, and a year later, we were married in an intimate ceremony, surrounded by family and friends. My life finally felt complete. We bought a cozy house in the suburbs, and a few years later, we welcomed our son, Daniel. It was everything I had ever wanted. Being in the military meant long stretches away, but I did everything I could to make time for my family. Caroline was understanding, always supportive, and her career flourished. She became one of the most successful real estate agents in the area. I was proud of her achievements, proud of the life we were building together, even if it sometimes hurt to miss important moments with Daniel. My best friend, James, often helped out, stepping in to support Caroline when I couldn't be there. He was like a brother to me, always present for family dinners, barbecues, and even some of Daniel's soccer games. Looking back now, maybe there were signs, but I was too blinded by trust and love to see them. Over time, Caroline began to seem distant. She worked long hours, coming home later than usual, always with an excuse about demanding clients. I convinced myself it was just a phase, that the demands of work and family life were wearing her down. Maybe I was even to blame for not being around enough. Then, one night in 1980, everything I believed in was shattered. I came home unexpectedly from a deployment, hoping to surprise her, hoping to rekindle the spark we once had. As I walked through the quiet house, I noticed something was off, but I couldn't put my finger on it. I climbed the stairs, eager to see her face light up with surprise. But instead, I opened our bedroom door to find Caroline and James together, entwined in the bed we once shared. The shock hit me like a bullet to the chest, and for a moment, I thought I might collapse. Caroline's face paled when she saw me, and James tried to stammer something, but there was nothing they could say. The betrayal was as raw as it was unexpected, and I could feel my world crumbling around me. That night, I left the house I had once called home, the walls now tainted with memories that would haunt me for years. The divorce was swift. I couldn't bear to be in the same room as her, couldn't stand the sight of the woman who had turned my life into a nightmare. She moved out shortly after, and within months, she and James were living together, confirming that it hadn't been a mistake or a momentary lapse in judgment, but a deliberate betrayal of everything we had built together. The pain was indescribable. Every room in that house held memories of a life I had thought was real, a life filled with love, laughter, and promises that now felt like cruel lies. In the years that followed, I poured myself into my work, using every ounce of energy to provide a stable life for Daniel and trying, unsuccessfully, to erase Caroline from my heart. Trust didn't come easily after that. I could feel myself building walls around my heart, walls that kept everyone at a distance. Friends and family offered support, but they couldn't fill the emptiness, the constant ache of betrayal that seemed to linger in every quiet moment. Slowly, I began to rebuild my life, focusing on raising Daniel and finding purpose in the small, quiet joys of being a father. Caroline's relationship with James didn't last, or so I heard. and her career eventually declined as she aged. I retired from the military, finding solace in time spent with Daniel and, eventually, with my grandchildren. Now, at 72, I live a quiet, simple life, surrounded by the love of my family. But the scars of that betrayal never fully faded. Caroline, now 66, lives in an assisted living facility, and from what I've heard, she spends her days reflecting on the choices that led her there. Once, a few years ago, I visited her, looking for closure, hoping to finally understand why she had thrown everything away. She seemed frail, her eyes haunted by regret. She apologized, expressing sorrow for the pain she had caused, but I knew that forgiveness would always elude me. I realized then that I would carry that pain forever. It had become a part of who I was, shaping me into the man I had become, both stronger and more guarded. Though I could never fully lay